Stranded university students to begin exodus home tonight. Recovered COVID-19 patients not immune to reinfection. Thanks for joining me, Renee Fong, on Updates at Noon. The movement of stranded higher education students following the enforcement of the Movement Control Order MCO will begin tonight, with those who are staying on campuses in the Central Zone. Senior Minister Security Datuk Sri Ismail Sabri Yaakob, however, noted that students living in COVID-19 red zones or under the enhanced MCO will not be allowed to return home.
Zon tengah ini akan bermula daripada UKM dan beberapa pelajar universiti di zon tengah lah. Jadi mereka mula akan pulang.
The senior minister added that the Higher Education Ministry is also looking into students who are stranded in the red zone areas such as Kampong Baru. He said there is a possibility for students in the red zone areas to take the swab test to detect COVID-19 infection before they are allowed to go home. Meanwhile, the government has agreed to allow private veterinary clinics to operate during the MCO. Datuk Sri Ismail Sabri, however, said the clinics are only allowed to operate on appointment basis to avoid crowding at the clinic.
Yes, kita benarkan untuk haiwan mereka dirawat, tetapi klinik tidak dibuka kecuali melalui temu janji. Ataupun jika klinik dibuka pun sekalipun mestilah melalui temu janji. Maknanya klinik hanya dibuka melalui temu janji semata-mata.
The Health Ministry, MOH, is aware that there is no evidence that patients who have recovered from COVID-19 are immune from being reinfected. Health Director General Datuk Dr. Nur Hisham Abdullah said that although there was a response to immunoglobulin MLGM and immunoglobulin GIgG antibodies, it did not protect the patient from being reinfected by the virus.
Tak ada bukti menunjukkan mereka dilindungi selepas jangkitan pertama. Jadi isu dia adalah reinfection tu besar kemungkinan boleh dijangkiti.
Datuk Dr. Nur Hisham also said that thus far the country has yet to record a case of a second infection, but the antibodies are not capable of protecting those who have recovered. They still need to take precautionary measures and keep utmost hygiene to prevent the second infection. Datuk Dr. Nur Hisham was commenting on a statement by the World Health Organization WHO that there is no guarantee that those who have recovered from the infection and developed antibodies will not be reinfected. The WHO also said that detection of antibodies acting on SARS-CoV-2, the virus that causes COVID-19, does not mean that it can serve as the basis for an immunity passport or risk-free certificate to allow individuals to travel or to return to work, assuming that they are protected against reinfection. The Sarawak State Health Department will carry out active contact tracing in Kota Samarahan, Sarawak, beginning today until 30th April to identify close contacts of COVID-19 cases there. Health Minister Datuk Sri Dr. Adham Baba said active contact tracing will be done at Taman Desa Ilmu and Taman Uni Garden. Elaborating further, Datuk Sri Dr. Adham said through this method called targeted MCO, they would be able to target those identified as contacts to previous positive cases. He also said that if they are experiencing symptoms, they will be immediately isolated. The Health Minister said this after attending a briefing with Sarawak General Hospital Director Dr. Nguyen Hee Ong at the Heart Centre in Kota Samarahan yesterday. He added that 50 teams comprising 100 personnel would manage the screening process and identify COVID-19 contacts at the two residential areas. He said the team will go from house to house and are aiming for those who have history of close contact with patients in red zone areas. Police have received about 300,000 applications for interstate travel permit under the Movement Control Order MCO via the Gerak Malaysia application app in just 12 hours. Bukit Aman CID Director Datuk Huzair Mohamad said from the total, 100,000 individuals are applying to travel after being stranded in their hometowns as they did not manage to return home following the declaration of MCO. In a statement released yesterday, Datuk Huzair said the figure is expected to double by 1st May. He also said it is very important for police to ensure each application received is only for permitted purposes, so that plans for interstate movement would proceed smoothly. He said during the stipulated period, police would be monitoring and evaluating the trend of application received via the app. He said the government would be informed of police findings on the monitoring and evaluation so that the dates of travel as announced yesterday would be reviewed and coordinated according to the number of applications received. The Bukit Aman CID Director further advised the people to cooperate by applying to obtain travel permit according to the prescribed valid reasons. He said the cooperation of all parties is important to ensure the application system benefited to those who need to travel interstate. The people can now apply online to request for food aid under the Zero Hunger program throughout the Movement Control Order MCO period. The program has so far received more than 90,000 applications ever since the first phase of MCO was implemented. The organizer of the program, Malakat Mall, and the Malaysian Muslim Consumers Association, PPIM, have so far helped out 6,700 households nationwide. The online application can be made through sadakahmarket.com or Zero Hunger app. The organizer is also willing to cooperate with any non-governmental organizations, NGO, in distributing food to the affected people. A total of 3.8 million recipients of the Bantuan Sara Hidup BSH and Bantuan Prihatin Nasional BPN are currently insured under the My Salam scheme. Deputy Minister of Finance Dato Abdul Rahim Bakri, however, said many of the recipients in rural areas were still unaware of it. He said the insurance coverage provided by Great Eastern Takaful Berhad is given automatically to all BSH recipients. He said in a statement that the insurance covers 45 critical illnesses. The scheme will be expanded to include some 8 million of those who do not receive BSH with an annual income of less than 100,000 ringgit aged between 18 and 65 years. Further information can be obtained via email to info@mysalam.com.my or the My Salam portal. Non-stop heavy rain at Juru area in Bukit Mertajam yesterday caused homes in several low-lying areas to be flooded up to 0.5 meters and 148 people evacuated to 2 temporary evacuation centres, PPS. The evacuation team also took the body temperatures of those affected to ensure they did not have fever. So far, all those who were sent to the evacuation centres were healthy and told to observe social distancing to curb the spread of COVID-19. The weather in the Bukit Mertajam and Juru areas is currently good, while the flood waters have receded. Yesterday, a 2-hour downpour in Penang saw flash floods in many areas in the state and several homes in the Seberang Perai Utara SPU district damaged. The heavy rain began at 3 p.m, causing water levels in Kepala Batas, Permatang Buloh, Lahar Yoi, Nyur Sebatang, Sungai Dua, Macang Bubuk, Tasik Gelugor, Simpang Ampat, Bagan Ajam and Merbau Kudung to rise to between 0.1 and 0.5 meter. To March this year, 10 cases of tapirs being knocked down by vehicles were recorded compared to 12 cases last year. The Malayan tapir, or locally known as Tenok, Cipan, Badak Tampung or Badak Murai, has been listed as protected species under the Wildlife Conservation Act 2010. As such, in conjunction with World Tapir Day today, Energy and Natural Resources Minister Datuk Dr. Shamsul Anwar Nasara in a statement said various initiatives are being implemented to reduce roadkill incidents, which include the installation of yellow transverse bars, solar amber light and wildlife crossing signs at several identified locations. He noted that the main threats to Malayan tapir are also habitat loss, forest fragmentation, as well as caught in snares laid out by illegal wildlife poachers. Thus, members of the public are urged to report to authorities in the event of forest encroachment or illegal hunting activities in an effort to protect the endangered wildlife, including Malayan tapir. The Land Public Transport Agency APAD will resume operations beginning Wednesday, 29th April from 8:30 a.m. until 1 p.m. In a statement released, APAD said the operations would be at 4 regional offices, namely the Central, Southern, Eastern and Northern regions, and 12 APAD counters at the Road Transport Department, RTD. The APAD counters are at the RTD branches in Shah Alam Selangor, Wangsa Maju, Kuala Lumpur, Negeri Sembilan RTD, Bukit Katil, Melaka, Johor RTD, Pahang RTD, Kelantan RTD, Ipoh, Perak, Seberang Jaya, Pulau Pinang, Kedah RTD, Langkawi and Perlis RTD. The statement also said that in accordance with this ruling, the types of applications that can be accepted at APAD counters are license renewal applications, vehicle licensing applications, STKs, submission of approval documents and driver's card. According to the statement, other services at the counter will be opened based on the current development of the COVID-19 pandemic and the government's decision on the Movement Control Order MCO. The statement added that those who have dealings at APAD counters are advised to adhere to all COVID-19 prevention guidelines as set by the Health Ministry MOH, such as ensuring they do not have any symptoms of infection and to maintain social distancing. And that concludes today's edition of Updates at Noon. In our top story, stranded university students to begin exodus home tonight, but only to green zones. Join us again at 7 p.m. tonight for more updates on the latest happenings around the world. Before we go, don't forget to wash your hands regularly, practice social distancing, and most of all, let's adhere to the movement control order and just stay at home. Thanks for watching. Have a pleasant afternoon.